Hey, you're watching Half Asian Tarot Queen. I'm Elisa. So I'm doing giveaway. I do giveaways once a month. This month the featured deck is the Urban Tarot. It's a tarot and its muse is New York City. So they're all the archetypes in the deck have been sort of modernized with and replaced with modern archetypes that are inspired by New York City. So, oh my gosh. I just split the deck and I got the Sun, which is the best card in the deck. It's this little child. So anyways, that's the deck that's like being featured. So it's the giveaway. So if you're interested in doing the giveaway, you want to check out the monthly reading for October, and I'm going to link it right here, but it's also on the main page of the channel, and this card just plopped out, so this is going to be the card, I guess. So it's completion. So this is like the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new cycle, and it's interesting because the monthly reading was on the 1st, which was a full moon. It was the harvest moon, and it was all about this new reality sort of bubbling up to the surface, you know. So I feel like this definitely speaks to that, you know. We're like walking through the doorway into this next era, you know, like it's happening. So okay, so that's the Urban Tarot. I'm going to go. This is the deck that I have been starting with for a while. Mystical Shaman. It's kind of like my favorite deck, and it was the giveaway. I want to say it was in July, but honestly, I'm not even really sure. But I'm gonna pick a few cards from that to kind of start the reading. My energy actually is starting to pick up. Like, I feel like the harvest moon for me was just like this crazy energy, and it almost like sucked the life out of me for a second, to be honest. It was just like, it's just like we pulled the plug and drained everything out, and now we're rebooting, and like that's kind of what it feels like. But I'm starting to feel like I'm rejoining the world of the living again. So that's always a good thing. Okay, interesting. Wow, I've never gotten these two together, but it really goes. Okay, so we got Wind. So this is a card of change, and it's a card of having the courage to face the wind. So because it's like when there's a change in your external world, there isn't a change in your internal world as well. So it's like just kind of inviting you to look at that, you know, that change, and be part of it, you know, because there's something about yourself that's profound to learn when these things happen, you know. Okay, so these two cards that like are super related, which I haven't really noticed necessarily until now, and like you can see even like the artwork, it's like really amazing. I mean, and they're super similar, but the messages of the two cards are also very similar, and it's really interesting. I never have noticed this before. So we have the Sacrifice, and this is a card, and it's talking about, you know, having to like give something up that's important to you and like offer it up to the universe as like a sacrifice, offer it up to the divine or to God as a sacrifice, and allowing it to be transformed into whatever the next evolution is gonna be, you know. And I never noticed this before either, but there's like a butterfly in her hand, which is totally a symbol of transformation, you know. So it's like giving up something important to make room for renewal, for something new, you know. And then we have this card of flow, which is a card of just like, it's a card of abundance and just like knowing that everything you need is going to come to you exactly as you need it and in the right time. And it's a card of, you know, like manifestation, like she's got the power, you know, she's in flow. Everything that you need is going to come to you when you need it, and you can trust and have faith in that. And when you're in that state, you are in a state of abundance, you know, because it's not about, abundance is not about amassing stockpiles of things and being stuck, you know. It's about this being in this state of flow and knowing that things are going to come to you when you need them, and being able to release things that no longer serve you to make room for. And then we have the giveaway, which is really interesting because it's almost the same picture, you know, and she's got this symbol of transformation, and she's holding like the world, you know. And the giveaway is a card of just sort of like, it's kind of like, I forget which Beatles song it is, but it's just like, you know, what you put out into the world is what comes back to you. I mean, that's sort of like the law of karma and manifestation, you know. So it's just sort of like, for example, okay, so like I've been in this conflict for a while, and like the other person in the conflict has been super focused on just like winning and like the tangible outcomes and winning at any cost, you know. And so super focused on like my destruction, because like they see as an obstacle to, you know, getting everything, you know. And so, and while I've just been like focused on sort of like what I believe is the outcome that's in alignment with God or the universe, or, you know, whatever's meant to be, you know. So I've been kind of like, that's what I've been putting out into the world, you know. And the other person is like, has been fully focused on my destruction because I'm the obstacle, you know. And so it's been like really a lot to deal with, you know. It's heavy, but like it's weird because it's just like, I mean, it's hard to see the forest for the trees when you're in it. I'm going to start shuffling from the muse while I'm talking about this story. But it's like over time, like I start to see like, oh my gosh, you know, it's just like this card, like what you put out is what you get back, you know. It's like, ironically, they've been super focused on my destruction, but like since I've just been in alignment with the universe, like that energy ends up getting deflected, you know, because that's not what I'm putting out, you know. And so like I'm in weird miraculous ways being, you know, protected, and then it's getting deflected, and that destruction is like ultimately coming back to them, you know, because they're the ones that put it out there, you know. And so it's really profound and miraculous, but that's the way the world works, you know, really. But it's just like when you're focused on three-dimensional reality and what's tangible and not sort of in the spiritual realm, like it can be hard to see that, you know. But that's really what's really real, you know, at the end of the day. Okay, so the three cards we got, 4 of the materials. We got the Muse of Inspiration, and then we got the 4 of Emotions. So it's interesting because we've got this guy's like large and in charge, like this is like the boss, like he's like making things happen, like he's a manifester, like he is like can channel his emotions and make things happen, you know. And he you know, interestingly, like that falls right on top of this flow card, you know. But like it's flanked by these 2 4s, you know, the 4 of materials and the 4 of emotions. So the Four of Materials is a card of sort of like hoarding, like you're like not wanting to let go of what you have because you're afraid you're not going to get it back, you know, and so you're hanging on, and so but you're actually blocking the flow by doing that, you know. So it's just like interesting because that falls right under this sacrifice, you know, where it's just like you've gotta release that in order to make room for the flow, you know. And then we have the Four of Emotions, which is the card of sort of like, you know, like it's trying to come to you, you know, there's this love and it's coming to you, but you're not seeing it because you're just not looking at it. You're just like looking at something else, like you're focused on the wrong thing, you know. So it's interesting because there's this flow in the middle, but on both sides we have like sort of like this cautionary tale, like this is where you want to go. You want to be able to release to make room for the new, because what you put out is what you're going to get back, you know. So you've got to release and you have to be open to receive, you know, like in order to be in the flow, like, you know, both of those things. Like you have to release and you have to be open to receive. You can't be blocked in like either direction, you know. So it's really interesting how that came out, you know, because it's just like both channels got to be open. Like it's not about stockpiling. It's not about amassing a big pile of stuff. It's about being able to release and being open to receive. And like if you can open that up, that's basically what a state of abundance is, you know. So okay, so I'm going to pull from the Golden Art Nouveau, which was the giveaway from last month, and get some more cards and see if I can get some more clarification about what's going on. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. This is interesting. Okay. So I got the Nine of Wands upside down. So that's like the wounded warrior who's just sort of like, this person's kind of been through the ringer and they're like at the end of their rope. They're tired of fighting. They don't want to do it anymore, but they know they can see the victory on the horizon and they know they're almost there. So they're not really giving up, you know. And then like right under that we have the moon, like, which is a card of like emotion. So it's interesting because it's just sort of like we have this blocked person, you know, but on top of that we have the emotion. Like it's just sort of like maybe like what they have to let go of in order to make room for all of this to come in is they have to let go of this struggle and just let the emotions just flow, you know, just like let it out, you know. And then we have the Hangman, and we have on top of that Judgment. So this is a card of like taking a step back and looking at a situation and like kind of making a sacrifice, you know, basically like this card, you know. And so it's just like this King of Wands is like making a sacrifice, and there's like this karmic reckoning that's happened, like this judgment that's happening, which is allowing this manifestation and this flow to happen. And then on this side where we have this person who's just like blocked and not seeing, they're not seeing the gifts that are coming to them. You know, they're not open to receiving. They're not seeing it. Well, there's a change, and this is coming into balance. So it's like, oh my gosh, this is like some profound healing that's happening here in this reading. It's really wild. I'm going back to Muse to pull a couple more cards of, you know, how we're going to move through this moment. But, yeah, it's really interesting because it's just like there's this whole new era that's coming online, and I think, you know, what's going to bring it in is like being able to like open up those channels and go into this flow state, you know. But like you're gonna have to look within at where there might be a blockage in either of those directions. You're either gonna have to like release the blockage and like let stuff flow out, or you're gonna have to open the door, the channels, so that you can receive all the gifts that are coming to you. Okay, so we got the Three of Materials, which is like the Three of Pentacles, the Muse of Voices, which is kind of like the King of Swords, and we have the Ten of Emotions. So it's just like, this is again like this harsh truth, like this reality check, you know, that's happening, this karmic reckoning, this judgment, you know, this event that's happening, and it's like leading to this new foundation of like happiness and fulfillment, you know. So it's just like, by opening up these channels, that's what's going to make this happen. It's a really freaking beautiful lesson, you know, to have awareness about. Okay, so we're going to the Starseed Oracle to pick a final card to end the reading on, but it's just like, I'm really loving this message. Okay. A new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. That's so perfect. Yeah, this new reality is coming online. It's good. Be open. It's happening. You got this. Just, keep going.